Find Your Flex. I'm here today with Lindsay Milner, who is our Head of Content and Strategy, Amber Keats and Kerry Volner from Skill City. And we're going to take some time to talk to you about women in tech and how we've all come together to really try and motivate and understand the psychological barriers out there around why women aren't in tech, how we can get more women into tech. And Amber and Kerry have absolutely done a showstopper of working with Department of Education to provide free funded courses for women to get into tech in the Northwest. And that's what we want to talk to you about today. So I'm going to hand over to the wonderful Lindsay, who's going to direct our conversation and make sure that we don't go off point and hopefully find it really interesting.
Yeah. So I think we were talking, weren't we, when we first got together about the fact that women at the moment, there's only 19% of us apparently in the UK technology workforce. And we know that every single day, although we're using technology, we have a really bad habit of saying, oh, I'm a technophobe, I can't do it, I can't do it. So it might explain some of why we haven't got enough of us working in the tech industry now, building all the important things that we actually need because we're the ones who bloody use them. So hopefully the point of our partnership is to challenge anyone that's listening to encourage either themselves or their mums or their sisters or their cousins to take a look at Skill City and the Find Your Flex website that will push them to the courses. But what I wanted to know a bit about today was the background to what made Skill City and Host set it up. Where did it come from? And also what's going on in Manchester? Because obviously there's a lot going on and it's really exciting.
Yeah, I'll let you go, Amber, because you was on this project before I was.
So I jumped on with Mo. I mean, it was his brainchild. Him and Danielle, they started this whole thing. They applied for the funding for DFE. They saw the gap. Basically, they saw the gap in the industry, the fact that we've got so many big companies moving to Manchester, and yet we've got a huge, great gap in the jobs market in general, let alone sort of for women. We are leading the way within the UK in terms of tech up here in Manchester, and in general in the world with up there as well. I mean, we're looking at the fact that we've had Amazon move in the last 3 years, I think in the last 2 years even. We've got Netflix, we've got GCHQ, we have Cyberforce coming in the next couple of years as well. So we've got these huge, great power companies coming up here, and they're not just coming here because the infrastructure is great, but because we've got the manpower here to actually support them, and we're growing the women within the industry up here as well.
And that's amazing, isn't it? Because I think one of the stats you guys were saying yesterday is that within technology itself and within cyber in particular, there's like a 0% unemployment rate. If you are qualified and educated in that area, you are pretty much guaranteed a job.
Even at junior level, you're guaranteed to just go straight into a job. Companies are crying out for these candidates. I mean, there's another statistic as well. There's something at the minute like 3.5 million unfilled vacancies globally, and that's just growing daily. That figure's probably a lot bigger than that now. So as these skills gaps are widening, the demand for the talent is imminent, and that demand for the talent is a critical point for businesses, because if you've not got cybersecurity specialists in your whole organization can ultimately be destroyed. These cyber terrorists, so to speak, have become that sophisticated now. There's companies in America that are actually recruiting ex-cyber terrorists in their organizations to work out how to combat that. And so like the skills boot camps that we have, cyber security being one of the the main ones, it's the quality of the students that are coming through. They're going out there after 12 weeks, these work-ready skills to go straight into industry, to the companies that really, really need these skills now, more so since the onset of the pandemic, because obviously that just changed the infrastructure of everything. You know, that changed the whole landscape. So the skills gaps are widening and accelerating pace. Therefore, the demand for these, you know, these talent pools is widening at an accelerating pace. So Skills City is here to try and bridge that gap. But it's not just with the talent, you know, it's with the how do we enroll women into the industry as well, because we've got just as much to offer as men. You know.
Well, this is it, and with technology, it's unfortunately got that branding around it that's, you know, pale, stale, and male in it. I think it puts a lot of people off entering, and it's certainly, you know, that you know, we've been obviously talking to a lot of our audience and followers and trying to deal with the psychological, I guess, barriers around different people wanting to access the world of tech. Right? I think, Amber, you're one of the front runners of women in tech yourself. I mean, what were some of the hurdles that you faced on your journey?
For me, it's the fact that while I had a really supportive family, I mean, my dad was always very supportive of me going into tech, following my brothers, beating my brothers. The amount of teachers and lecturers out there who really weren't. It's that whole sort of, there's still that sort of, well, you're female, how are you going to do this? Throughout university, my course, I was the only girl on my course. So I was surrounded by guys within that as well. I was lucky. My uni team were really supportive. We're still all in touch. They're in the tech industry as well, but they're all guys.
Yeah.
I'm still the only woman from that situation.
In a positive way, that, Amber, has that allowed you to traverse the career ladder quicker because you're a different entity? I know we talk a lot about diversity and inclusion these days, and actually how sometimes that can be in a woman's interest to traverse that career ladder.
It has within education, yes. Okay. So as a computer scientist within a school environment, FE college, HE college, yes, because they want to show that women can do it. And they want, like us, they want to get more women into studying it. But when you go into the industry, not necessarily. With the exception of sort of the likes of Mo, actually, you do find that there's still that, can you fit in here? Can you fit into the old boys club? That is still there, even though they're trying to say it's not, or they're trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, I think that'll resonate with a lot of employers as well, and I think HR teams will have their heads in their hands because they know that that's what's going on in their IT departments across the land. We've referred to Mo a couple of times now. Do you guys just want to do a little intro into who Mo Isap is, because he's an awesome dude who's made sure that we can train all these people into tech for free? So do you want to do a shout out for Mo?
It's a bit of an understatement. I don't think you'd mind us saying that. I think Mo has dedicated his life, I would say his career, but on a more very soulful level. He's dedicated his life to really, really changing lives of people in general. I wouldn't just say, you know, it's just female or male. People in general. He's involved in a lot of projects which really empower people from almost like a self-belief level onto, you know, onto a career level, to a very more professional, higher level. He's brought out many projects outside of Skills City, empowering like young people, but not just young people, any age, you know, it's anything goes with Mo, I think. He's holding many projects, but Skills City itself is more to really, really honing on the future skills that are more developing, that traditionally companies don't adopt. So things like cybersecurity, 3D immersive technologies, you know, software engineering, cloud engineering. And his vision is to include more women, and more women from the BAME communities as well, who are, you know, often underrepresented. Times are changing, but they're not changing as quick as they should be in 2021. You know, we're in 2021. Things have changed, you know, traditionally. I mean, when I was in university, I did a first year of a sound engineering degree, and then I was specifically told you will never get a job in the industry. And I ended up leaving university, changing my whole career path because somebody told me that, and somebody only has to tell you that, and it's ingrained in you. And I think some of these, some of these mindsets are so ingrained in society that people don't really think that they can think outside the box and do things different. So, I mean, that's my personal experience, but from Skills City and from what Mo's developed, you know, this is just one of many, many projects that's involved in changing lives.
Yeah.
But in terms of skills, you know, he's obviously seen the, you know, what women bring to the table. You know, women who've traditionally had kids, they've had to plan for years ahead. You know, project planning comes in everything, you know. You know, I've got plenty of friends, you know, that they can plan anything with their eyes shut. You know, so it's almost them soft skills that women bring to the tech, you know, the tech industries. And I think Mo has realised that there are so many people underrepresented that could achieve so much. They don't realise they can achieve that. They almost reach a plateau. Yeah. So Skill City isn't just about skills. It's almost about empowering people. It's teaching the soft skills that come with these jobs. You know, you could have the best tech skills in the world, but if you can't convey that in a, you know, in a presentation or a project plan, then what's the point? You know, you've got to have a, you know, mixed bag of skills, and that's what Skill City is. And you know, we are trying to recruit, you know, more women into tech, and that is an overall vision of Mo's. And we're trying, you know, like I say, recruit more women from the BAME communities. And Mo's very, very, very passionate about that. And I think when you actually know, we're going to have him on the second LinkedIn Live, and you will see that coming through. It comes through every pore of his body, and he's brilliant what he does. And when you're in his space, you see that emulates from him. And you know, if anybody can make it happen, he can. So Skill City is not just about skills; it's about empowering people, making them believe that you can change your life. You know, it doesn't stop there. Anything is possible. And as these future techs are developing, you know, we're teaching the skills that aren't even used in many workforces at the minute. You know, we're teaching, you know, the skills today, you know, talent for today for the skills of tomorrow that are needed. So and, you know, the only way is up, you know, but it's almost like changing mindsets. You know, if you have come from another country, you know, you've got children, you can come to one of our boot camps and we can ultimately help change your life.
For free as well, which is
funded as
so
well.
There's absolutely no barriers, because traditionally it's always been the people with the money, hasn't it, in this country managed to get a leg up. And that's why what Mo's doing is so wonderful. It's going to open, you know, the playing field for anyone who's got any sort of talent to emerge from this and properly start to flourish, which is great. That's
the strapline of Skill City, you know, fair access to technology futures, because technology futures should be accessible to everybody, fairly balanced. Like you say, away from, you know, the traditional white male in a suit, it should be open to all. And people from all communities and all backgrounds, whatever diverse background you're from, have a lot to offer. You know, and a lot not for themselves, but, you know, to organisations as well.
I mean, we are in a period of transition right now as we come out of COVID, where more people are getting vaccinated. We're about to see a lot of people who don't want to get vaccinated that are going to fall out of certain sectors where the government have legislated that they have to be vaccinated. So we're going to, as if we weren't already in a very candidate-rich market, it's going to get even deeper with, you know, a lot of people coming from other sectors as the No Jab, No Job legislation comes into place on the 13th of September. So for me, I guess, and especially following the podcast that we've already been recording today, we've been talking a lot about transferable skills. We're talking a lot about how automation has already impacted the working community, which tech's caused to a certain extent. But there's a lot of women who are 35 plus who have lost their jobs in the retail sector. There's a lot of people who've come out of hospitality, out of healthcare, that have these softer skills, that have these transferable skills, that maybe don't even realize that they have these skills.
They don't realize their own power.
And they can transfer across into tech. I mean, what are you guys doing to support the people who haven't had tech experience in their careers? Because there are some entry-level programs in there as well as the higher skilled options as well, aren't there?
Yeah, so we've got programs like the AWS Restart, which is designed for people who they might have only ever used a computer to do the basic emails and Word and things like this. They may never have even done a tiny piece of programming. A Python might be a snake, or it might be Monty Python, the comics. That's what it was named for. Python was named for Monty Python. But we, on that course especially, we are literally aiming at those people who want to start, that have the passion for a tech career, even if they don't yet know exactly where they want to be within that tech career. We've also got more aimed at the BAME community, BAME women in particular. We've got data analysts and software engineering courses, which are part-time, so they're perfect for anyone who's got any other commitments. They're in the evenings, 2 evenings a week, and they are there to support anyone with basic knowledge and going up. We've got the Raytheon cybersecurity, which again, the junior technologist, it's aimed for anyone who's just interested and wants to learn. We have got a few more that need sort of the sort of experience or qualifications, such as our Unity professional artist course, which we just need you to have some sort of graphical knowledge or a degree in a graphical field for that. We've seen some amazing candidates already who they've got no official graphical training necessarily, but they've worked as an artist or an architect previously, and that just
One
they just
another
need
string
a
to their
little
bow.
bit of guidance.
Yeah.
They need a little bit of guidance, a little bit of prep work. So we give them a bit of a prep guide, do these simple tasks, and then they're free to join us on our full course and get a qualification out of it. And all of these, with the exception of the software engineering course, all of them have professional qualifications that are recognized in the industry worldwide. So
and they're free.
Really, they are
free to access, people. They're free. You can't say this enough.
I think the good thing to note as well is that if they haven't got the exact qualifications that needed, we can look at individual merit as well, because you can have somebody who's gone straight into a job from school, they've learnt them skills. Just because they haven't got that qualification on paper doesn't mean they're not at that level to go into one of the courses. Absolutely. So individual merit is a thing that we're very, very keen on as well at Skills City.
And we've been I think from our side of things, we've been talking to a lot of people and a lot of women especially, who throughout COVID, there's been a big old push to freelancify yourself, and then needing the, when you're a freelancer, you're not guaranteed work, right? So if you're in, marketing or social media, actually having a skill like coding to be able to fix glitches in websites, it's another string to your bow. It's another opportunity for you to get clients at the end of it. And you guys are guaranteeing 100% interview at the end of this, and you know that it's going to be a high percentage of placement. So in terms of an actual PAYE job, if somebody wants it at the end of it, they've got a really, really good opportunity there. But they can also use those skills to like you say, strengthen their freelance opportunities or whatever else they're already doing out there as well.
And
I think
sorry, Gary, I was just going to say
then as well.
Yes, that's the thing. Basically, if they go through these courses and they do decide that actually freelancing is where they want to go, or they just want to be an entrepreneur and start their own companies even, we've got incubator programs, Freelance Her, Host 50, Unity Incubator. All of these programs are starting, and they are designed to take people who have got that very basic knowledge, they've got an idea, they want to build it into a career. We'll help them with that. So we've got this sort of, as Skill City does the courses, the boot camps, but we are not just going to sort of go, okay, you've done your boot camp.
Yeah, exactly.
Lovely
off
to meet you. We've got you a job. Off you go. We're going to go, okay, you want to go down the entrepreneur route. You want to go down the freelance route. Let me introduce you to one of our lovely colleagues, Bella, and she can talk to you about our other programs that are going to support you, that have funding.
That are also funded.
As well.
I know it is amazing. I mean, in terms of the logistics of everything, you guys are obviously based in Salford. That's where the courses are being delivered from. But in terms of accessibility, it's available in the classroom, but it's also available virtually, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All of our courses, with the exception of Raytheon, all of them are fully virtual, with the option for the students to actually come to Host, where we're based in Salford Quays in Media City, if they choose to. with the Raytheon cybersecurity courses, there is a hybrid course basically. So there is some expectation that students will need to be on site some days. It's not the whole course. But again, it will benefit them because with cybersecurity, one of the key things is getting that hands-on experience. It's all well and good learning about it and doing it virtually, but you need to be able to also do it hands-on. So most of them are virtual with options. Raytheon is the only one that has that built-in hybrid.
I guess it's good to know that if they want to come in and talk to a teacher and get that individual support, that's there for them as well. Especially,
that's always available.
Especially for the restarters, the people who haven't done it before and it is all new to them. I think that's, a really great opportunity when they're thinking about doing this course. It's knowing that you've got that ongoing support and, like you said, the follow-up support afterwards as well.
Yeah, and we've got mentors built into every course as well. I mentor on some of the courses. We've got some other amazing women that mentor on the courses, some amazing male tutors as well that are on these courses. They all do mentoring. We get mentors from industry as well as, so most of our courses have industry projects on them. So you'll get in touch with mentors from the likes of BAE, Juicy Media, Bentley. We've got Milexa, NGF. We've got all sorts of companies that actually help mentor our students. So if you're having one of those days where it's all too much, you're really struggling, you're thinking, oh my God, I cannot do this. This thing is not going into my brain today. We're on the end of a message, on the end of a call, email, whatever it might be. And we can just sort of go, it's one day, take a step back. What's the problem? Let's look at it in a different way. We've all been there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the good thing about Skill City as well is because it is at Host Salford, it's the community element as well. Like Amber said before, you graduate, we don't just shake hands and that's goodbye. We've had many graduates who have actually come and been employed by us. I think we've employed 6 graduates, is it, Amber? Am I right?
Yeah.
Who've come to work directly with us. And we've had some graduates who've then gone on to, become a member and have shared space here. They've gone on to flourish in businesses, small businesses, startups, and the whole community element is there. We have a lot of events, for alumni. We've got a lot of things in the pipeline, and we encourage students to become a community and to immerse that community with, local businesses, with startups. We also have an arm of our business called Info Talent, where we're working with a number of employers across the Northwest who actually just want these work-ready graduates. So we've got this ecosystem where, we've got the talent pool that we're developing, but we've also got the employers who want these, who want these work-ready graduates. And that's the key, to become work ready, and I know traditionally when I left university, there was nothing like this at all. And 35 grand in debt, this is a solution for people who can just think, hey, you either want to upskill, I want to change jobs, I'm self-employed, we've got an opportunity for these skills. It's a win-win situation. Employers are hungry for these skills, a guaranteed interview, straight into a job, no debt. It's a win-win situation for learners and employers. I think we're at a critical time where times are changing, like we say, brought on by the pandemic, but there's just that imminent need now. So Skill City is to plug that gap. So it's fantastic for employers and it's fantastic for learners. So yeah, and we do have a range of open days coming up as well.
Well reminded, Terry.
Yeah,
and that's a good point, actually, because if there is anyone sat listening to this thinking, oh, actually, I wouldn't mind getting into tech. I am really into apps. I'm on TikTok all the time, or I'm doing this CBeebies app with my son. Actually, maybe I am quite good at it. And the answer is yes, you probably are. Because if any of us do things often enough and learn, you are. But anyone can come, can't they, of any age? You don't have to be a graduate or of graduate age in the traditional sense that some of us might be used to hearing that word graduate. You assume milk round and that you're 18. But anyone of any age can come.
19 and above for these
19 and above.
Camps. 19 and above,
We will, I mean, if you're 18, you're turning 19 in November, December,
Yes.
come along, because we've got courses starting in
Of
January.
course,
We
of
could
course.
actually get you onto.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have to be 19 and above to start a course. But as long as you turn 19, even the day before you're due to start, we can
You're all
help
right.
you.
Yeah.
So please don't think that, oh, I'm going to miss out because my birthday is the 3rd of January. The course starts on the 4th. Talk to us.
Yeah.
We will
These
help.
courses may very well carry on right throughout 2021
They
as
will
well,
do.
right?
That
And
is the plan,
22.
yes.
And that's the plan. That's the plan. So, like you say, young people are welcome to come to the open days to find out what it's about. Because some young people do plan ahead. You do get some young people who think, I'm thinking of going to university next year. Might be that they want to come to a skills boot camp and they can accelerate the career quicker. So the open days are open to all. But to actually be registered on a boot camp, you do have to be 19 currently.
Yeah.
And in terms, in sort of moving on to sort of the placements and that kind of thing, I know you've already got sort of relationship placed with certain companies and things like that to sort of help get these people jobs at the end of it.
Yeah.
Other employers are still, if they're based in the Northwest or commutable from Manchester, they can also reach out and get in touch with you about your candidates coming through as well, can't they?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Anyone who wants to take someone who's going to be based in the Northwest, even if your company is based in London, but you're happy for your employee to work completely virtual from the Northwest, we can still work with you. We are anyone who needs junior talent. We are there for you.
Exactly.
We can help you if you want to give them a project. Near enough all of our boot camps have the ability to build in a industry commercial project, and you can use that to actually assess which candidate you want to take. So it's almost it's a 2-week project. You can get these amazing candidates. They do this piece of work for you. They get to shout about it, whether they actually get the job with the company or not. They get to say, oh yeah, I did this project with this company. It looks good on their CV. And with any luck, at least one of them might actually join your company. And you've already got that knowledge. Oh yeah, they've done that project. They did it well. We can just throw them more of the same, build them up on it.
And that saves some employers thousands and thousands, even tens of thousands of pounds. You could have an employee who wants, a digital project that could be turned around as a live brief in 2 weeks. And we do get employers approaching us with that. So that's good for their CSR objectives as well. They can come to us, we can think, right, we can match these students with this project. The employers are saving thousands and thousands of pounds. They're getting to see what our students are capable of, and then they're getting to cherry pick the talent as well. So like I say, it's a win-win situation for employers also.
And when it comes to the talent, I mean, just give them a little bit of insight in terms of what does a career look like in tech? What's going to be the entry point for their salary after they finish your course, and
more than
realistic.
I
bet me too. I bet
that was a long time ago, ladies. Let's be honest.
I think we also want to see the realistic timeline to get to those. I know you said that the average tech salary now, specifically in Raytheon, is about 70-80k, and that's the average across everything. So there's obviously earning potential out there for the guys finishing the course.
So when anyone finishes, we aim for them to be looking at the low side would be around 18, but the average is probably 20 to 22 as a junior for probably 6 months. Most companies, if you prove yourself in those 6 months, you're looking quite quickly at that increasing. We've had some candidates who've started on 37,000.
Can I have that job, please?
Can I have that job? There is a huge, great range. There's also the fact that if you don't feel that you're ready to be a fully fledged junior member of staff, you still want to continue learning, there are level 4 apprenticeships out there that will build on every boot camp that we've done. Now, the starting salaries for those are usually a little bit lower. They might be as low as 17,000 for the first 6 months. But again, they go up really quickly. Apprenticeships level 4 apprenticeships, which are equivalent of a foundation degree. You're looking at, by the end of the 2 years, you're probably looking at being on 26 quite easily if you pass all your qualifications, all of that. So it is quite a quick progression route if you show what you can do. In terms of roles that you can move on to from the courses, as I said, you've got apprenticeships. That's the basic of it. You've also got junior developer, cloud developer, cloud architect, cloud network, cybersecurity specialist. You can even be a full stack or front end, back end developer. So you could just be developing apps, websites. You could be a web developer.
So lots of opportunity.
I think as well,
data analysts, data scientists.
I think as well, if you think of that, when you put a ballpark figure on that, say 17,000 for an apprenticeship, that to me, if you're taking away the student debt of that 2 years, you're looking at probably saving, over £26,000 over your lifetime. So that in itself bumps up your salary massively. And I went on my first apprenticeship, I was on £50 a week, and you were lucky if you got that. And now it's a livable wage. And even if you weren't living with your parents, it's still a livable wage. So apprenticeships now have become a lot more fairer in terms of salary than they used to be a long time ago. And you've not got that student debt, which is just a massive, massive relief for anybody who's in two minds.
And you come out with that qualification and the experience,
and the experience of working within industry.
Which degrees and stuff you just don't necessarily get much of, unfortunately, do you?
I know.
Amber, sorry.
But,
you mentioned apps there, and there was a stat I was looking at for someone yesterday that uptake for apps is women are 40% more likely to be using apps and 80% more likely to be spending a lot of money on them. So
that
again, it comes back to that disconnect, doesn't it? That we all, a lot of us anyway, I shouldn't make assumptions, assume we're not that great at tech, but actually we're using it all the time. We clearly like it. So the next step is more of us need to build it.
Exactly.
The things that we're sat there going, oh God, I wish I had this for this, or I wish I could do that for.
Well, women understand what women want, don't they?
Exactly.
That's why Pinterest grew, because the peak time of traffic to Pinterest was something like 2 a.m. on a Saturday morning. So everyone had been out after work, had a few wines, and started to go shopping at after o'clock. And
been rudely awoke by their 4-year-olds.
Pinterest grew,
their houses without
Pinterest
telling anyone else.
E-commerce channels, but there's a lot of women using tech, and like you say, they've got that intrinsic understanding of what they want. So it'd be good to see more women, like you say, behind the development side of things, behind these, really innovative ideas, and using tech to push them ideas forward.
Yeah, and you've got the thing, we're using it, but it's not designed for us.
No,
because it's designed by majority of the time men still,
and we're talking 80%, aren't we? It's about 17% of technology people at the minute are females, so there is a big disconnect there. Absolutely.
And that's a ridiculous thing, because you look at these sort of facial recognition things, going into sort of more depth to some extent, machine learning, artificial intelligence, all of this sort of thing. We were playing with robots around machine learning yesterday. They're trained on men's
male bias,
and they're trained majority of the time white male faces. So the minute they then come across a black male, a woman, they don't know what they're looking at necessarily, which means that they are going to get it wrong. And they're never going to learn the right way. It's like
bias is a big problem in AI, isn't it? And I think it's a problem that all of us are going to have to face in the future. Interestingly, we were literally just talking about it when we were talking about the ATS and ATS systems, and how inherently they can lend itself to bias because a human, unfortunately, is doing the initial build. And I think it's about representation. I think that, and it's the same in every single job that's out there. There needs to be fair representation. At the minute, there isn't fair representation. So that's generally what we're all about here today. We're wanting to get more women into tech. Can I put you guys on the spot? Because I've got a question's popped up into my head that we haven't actually discussed. So I'm hoping that it's not going to put you too far on the spot. And that is around those people who would love to do this course, absolutely would love to do it, but they have socioeconomic issues in terms of they may not have the tech or the workspace at home to allow them to do this course. Is within the funding and everything, or the stuff that Skills City have, are you able to support people who are socioeconomically disadvantaged?
In terms of the tech, not necessarily. At this moment in time, we don't have the spare laptops necessarily to be able, or computers to be able to support. But
we do have associated networks though that we can channel to.
Yeah,
you know, there's all sorts of, you know, pools and signposting that we can do.
Yeah.
We would never ever ostracize a learner because of their socioeconomic, you know, disadvantage when it comes to tech. We would always endeavour to do something, even if they have to come here in person to learn every day. That's what, yeah, because we've discussed this before, haven't we, Amber? We know that there are people out there, you know, a laptop to some people is nothing, but to other people it's a big, you know, it's a big long-term expense, you know. So we would endeavour to make sure that the students did have access to that somehow.
Yeah.
At the minute, we've not actually got that funding ourselves, but we do have a lot of partners that we can tap into.
Yeah, I imagine lots of businesses would help support on that front with offers of laptops and with tech and equipment. So that's
we have
just
a lot of bursary schemes and stuff, and we have a lot of members here who do get involved. We've all got very big CSR arms of what we do, you know. So there is we have got a few fundraising events coming up as well for similar things. So we will be, you know, going down them channels and them avenues. Yeah.
But I mean, in terms of space, that's definitely not a problem. If it was a case that, as I said before, we'll have the ability to invite people in maybe for one day a week in general.
Yeah.
If it was a case that someone actually needed that space regularly, because although they might have the computer, they don't have the internet at home, or it's not reliable, we could definitely look at just having them in every day. That wouldn't be a problem. And it's the same with any disabilities, anything like this. I mean, tech is a very enabling industry. So I've already had one applicant who was interested in joining us. She was short. She had really poor eyesight, not technically blind, but very close. And we talked to her. Unfortunately, she was in the wrong area for us at the time, but the fact that she's got this sort of disability, it's not a problem at all. We can quite happily work around things like this. I mean, all these video conferencing things, they have different ways of working with you. So things like that. Hard of hearing. Again, we've got the ability to, what's the word? Put
audio, like different types of
audio enablement, I think is
we can put all sorts on. So there are ways around a lot of what we do.
Brilliant.
And that's a brilliant point as well, actually, is that obviously people that have any sort of disability, really, I think the stat I read the other day was something like 50% of people with a disability in Britain can't get work. So almost, you know, all of that 50% do want work, and technology, again, is a brilliant way for anyone that is physically disabled or maybe has an invisible disability that stopped them from working in a traditional, normal sense. These courses could help them, couldn't they, go on to then find remote work?
Yeah,
absolutely,
definitely,
absolutely. Well, I hope everybody's enjoyed that little insight and look into the amazing work that you guys are doing over at Skills City. I'm looking forward to getting more on in a couple of weeks.
I was just going to say the same thing.
Going in depth.
Looking forward to, and Mo will give you really good insight into his actual vision and, you know, what propelled him to actually do this. I know he's such an inspirational guy, so I think then people have more of an understanding of, you know, behind the scenes, really.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, guys. The insight has been absolutely amazing. So for any of you candidates out there that want to get involved, you can find all of the information on the FindYourFlex website. It's also available on the Skills City website. We've got loads of people to support you through the actual application onboarding process too. And obviously, we just want to get you into tech. So it's free. If you're in the Northwest, please don't miss out of this. It's almost criminal to miss out on this
know,
opportunity
yeah.
to reskill. Make the
John
most of
Furlow,
it.
do it.
Yes.
And let's see
about
what amazing
road shows
apps
as well.
and yeah,
Come
Yeah.
along to one
road
of our
shows, open days.
Yeah, we've got a
It's
series
5
of open
years.
days. You can actually meet the program leaders. So it's not just where, you know, you go in and you just pick up a few leaflets. The program leaders are all there. You can get to see the tech demonstrations, get to see, you know, the buildings, the facilities, meet everybody, like I say, behind the scenes. And it's just such a good opportunity for students to actually see, you know, see the benefits of, you know, what Skill City actually is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see you all live next time on LinkedIn
Thank
Live
you
with
very
FindYourFlex
much.
team.
Yeah, very much looking forward to it.
And we'll
Cheers.
see you all again soon.
Thank you.